Welcome back to the Ultimate Karting Championship powered by Nitro Lord. Next out on track, it's the turn of the Junior X30s, where the championship overall is hanging by a thread. There are currently 4 drivers battling it out for the top spot. But the man leading is Connor Duncan, and after taking wins in the pre-final and the final at both of the last 2 rounds, he sees himself with a 10-point advantage. It was a little bit of a scare for him though in the final at Gleneagles, where after taking pole position, he dropped down through the order in the opening couple of laps. He had to keep his head and stage what was an incredible fight back. So I caught up with him earlier on to ask him what goes through a driver's mind when something like that happens.
My name is Connor Duncan, my kart number is number 41 and I race in the Junior X30 Championship. Racing can be funny, where you're starting pole and within no time you can be in 10th, maybe even 15th. But at that point you have to realise it's an early stage in the race and you just have to not let the red mist sit in. So you take a deep breath and you settle your head and you have to get back to work.
Connor Duncan is going to drop back to 3rd, 4th, 5th if we're not careful. Is that Gabriel Stilp on the inside
6th.
having got through? I think it is 6th.
6th place, Jake. That is a dreadful start for Connor Duncan.
Going down the hill at GYG, I had dropped down to P6, but at that moment I knew it was an early stage in the race and I had to make sure I didn't get over my head. So I just worked out where I was, worked out where I was strong, and I used that to my advantage as I came back up through the pack to try and retake the lead.
And in the last 2 rounds, it seems to me that you've really upped your game and things have started to fall into place for you. Why do you think that is?
Going from Honda to Junior, it's a very big step, and I knew it would be hard, but the training and help I've got from Connor and all the boys at Red Waft has really helped me to improve, and I've started to put that into work in the last couple of races and came out on top at those races. So.
And this morning already, you've been out for a bit of a practice and you know, here we are at Shenington. How's your Shenington weekend going so far?
I'd say it's going pretty well. That last session I was fastest on track. So we're just going to see and hope that we come out on top this weekend.
Well, let's see if he can again. Oh, he's only just made the cut through there, Jake. They've gone round again after an aborted start, and Connor Duncan nearly got caught out there. Here's the grid positions.
Well, that could have been an embarrassing end to the race before it even got going for Connor Duncan, but Lorenzo Cordell will be there from pole position. Leo Brown and Zaki Hussein from Baker, Go Hill, Wainwright and Archie Clark. Watch out for Kira Harris from 9th position on the grid as well. Plenty of opportunities for the drivers to make some good ground around this Shenington circuit. But from the front row of the grid, it will be Lorenzo Cordell and Connor Duncan as they come off the turn and up towards the main straight. That looks like a fairly reasonable start to me, so away we go. Up to the first corner. Cordell holding his line as they go through, but it looks as though second place is already going the way of Leo Brown. Brown trying to hold it round the outside at Cafe, and yes, he's into second place. Good start from Leo Brown. Nice opportunistic overtaking move there. We're on board with him with our 360 cam, but he's about to lose second. Once again, Connor Duncan back on the inside line, and he gets through into second position. That is the man who leads the championship, don't forget. And he will want to get back on terms with Lorenzo Cordell as soon as possible. But in the form that Lorenzo Cordell is currently in, you may not see him again in this final. Look at him, he's already stretching clear.
Well, we've already interviewed Connor Duncan about his exploits at Gleneagles Park, where he dropped to 6th on the first lap and then came back to win it. He's in second at the moment. This should be easy then, Jake.
Well, certainly on the law of averages, and if it was written in terms of past performances, but Shenington is a very, very different race circuit. Very fast indeed. They call this the Monza of British karting. Very high speed with some big stops for braking points. This is all about slipstreaming and getting the setup right, because you obviously got to make sure that you've got a kart that's going to be set up for good top end speed, but also good balance at the rear, because you don't want to be spending too much time sliding around with the back end. Because certainly through the Bruno Ferrari chicane and through these tighter hairpins up at Wilkins and at Stratford hairpin, you can lose a massive amount of time getting the kart back up to speed again if the loose end of the kart is basically dictating where the kart is driving. So you've got to be so careful in getting the setup right. This comes down to street smarts as much as good fortune. So Cordell, Duncan and Brown already clear. Sam Baker and Tom Wainwright giving chase further back. Wainwright with the fastest lap of the race. On the inside, that is Connor Duncan getting his move on Cordell and going past both of them. Leo Brown takes the lead. Let's watch again from on board with Brown. That took a long time for Connor Duncan to commit to the overtaking move, and he went too wide in making the move stick.
What a brilliant piece of driving by all the drivers concerned. Nobody touched anybody, but what a move there by Leo Brown, and Connor Duncan has it back.
That is a lovely overtaking to Wilkins. He's clearly very, very determined in this one. He wants to make sure that he extends his championship lead with 1 round to go, coming up to Warden Law. So he wants to make sure that he goes there as the ipso facto championship leader. Archie Clark now gets a new fastest lap in. We're on board with Leo Brown. Here comes Cordell. That'll do on the inside line. Is he going to lose another place? Goodness me, I thought for a moment there we were going to drop to 4th position. But Leo Brown hangs on in there in front of Tom Wainwright. From Baker, Clark, Hussein, Gohill, Collins and Sam Longley. So some great battles all the way through this pack. But watch for Lorenzo Cordell. He's going to try again to move his way into the lead of the race. Not if the race leader, Connor Duncan, though, has anything to say about it. He wants to hold on to this position as long as possible. Leo Brown ahead of Wainwright, Baker and Archie Clark. And then Zaki Hussein running in 7th position. Cordell with the fastest lap of the race now. 43.711 down to the Stratford hairpin once again. Let's watch once more with Leo Brown, and again into the Stratford hairpin, and again they both run wide. This time there is a bit of a love tap, and Leo Brown genuinely thought he could make the same move twice to get past both of them and take the lead, but instead he ends up 2nd.
Yeah, he must have been thinking, oh, here we go again, but just couldn't get through. But there was contact that time as Cordell went down the inside of Connor Duncan. But fortunately, doesn't look like there's any damage done. Of course, these things can change your steering geometry, but looks like everybody's still running okay.
And Archie Clark has managed to slingshot his opponents to get into 4th place. He's got past Wainwright and Baker on that lap. So Archie Clark is suddenly now P4. And we've seen this in the past here at Shenington. If you're in the top 4 at this point in the race, you could be fighting for the win. Duncan back on the inside of Leo Brown. Archie Clark tightens up behind Brown a little bit. So that's going to give him a chance to go for the podium in this one. Great recovery. Oh, a little bit of a love tap there between, I think that was Hussein and Gohill. Just a little bit too close together. Kyan Gohill did the sensible thing. He backed off the throttle and allowed the two of them to get through. There's always an opportunity for a driver to bail out of a corner. We saw recently with a couple of incidents on the world stage of Grand Prix racing, the likes of Verstappen and Hamilton. That's when neither driver decides to back out of it. But obviously these guys are racing cleanly and fairly. There is the grandson of the great British rallying star Roger Clark, Archie Clark, doing a great job. Where did Tom Wainwright come from? What a move! Round the outside, he picked off both Brown and Clark in one fell swoop. I have never seen an overtake like that into the Stratford hairpin at Shenington. That was magic.
And I've been coming here for the best part of 20 years. I've never seen that either. 2 in 1.
Oh, Clark over the top of Brown. He tried his best into Wilkins, but the door firmly slammed in his face, and Clark was already committed to the move. Now Cordell takes the lead away from Duncan. Let's watch again how that move happened between Clark and Brown. The top 3 are skating away between each other, and in the momentum, Clark just doesn't see that the pace of the field is slowing down.
And squeezing onto the inside there at Wilkins, and has been caught out. It's over the top. We're on board again.
And that's Wainwright now trying to come around the outside to get into 2nd place past Connor Duncan, and he's getting his weight done in there. Brilliant, round the outside. Wainwright through past Duncan. Brown gets through as well. And watch out, because here comes Sam Baker on the inside. Now we're going to make the bid on Wainwright. Duncan is through as well. This is excellent kart racing at its best in the Ultimate Karting Championship. Now watch as we're going to see Wainwright help Duncan past Brown, and he gets in round the outside as well, but loses momentum on the switch as one wheel comes off the deck. Brilliant racing. Archie Clark responds after that earlier spin with the fastest lap of the race. He's got the red mist down, and up on the inside, that is Baker on the inside there, making the overtaking move. A bit of a forceful one on Tom Wainwright in the hairpin. Amazing stuff. Oh, and it's all gone wrong further back. 2 karts going together. That was unfortunately Sam Longley. And I think we've got another driver in the mix there going through the runoff. We're going to pick it all up. but certainly Sam Longley is one of them. Was Jack Collins involved in that?
Yeah, he was. Jack
Yes.
Collins and Zakir Hussain in the blue suit there having to take avoiding action as well.
Kyan Gohill was the luckiest man in history. He could have got swamped in the middle of all of that.
I've got to be honest though, that on-board action there, that was 45 seconds of absolute mayhem.
But look at all of that, because they've all been battling away together. In the insanity of it all, Archie Clark, who dropped all the way to the back of the grid, he's been able to pick his way back into contention. He's now fourth again.
That's incredible.
Duncan gets back through on Cordell, and Clark's going to nip in on the inside of Leo Brown. How has Clark fought his way back to the top three, and how is he now racing for victory? This is amazing. Right on the back bumper now of the 133 Leo Brown. Sam Baker and Kyan Gohill in the mix of all of this as well, as Duncan leads Cordell into the last lap. And this is going to be very tricky to figure out who's going to get the victory. This is easily the best Junior X30 final we have seen this season in the Ultimate Karting Championship. Clark is now committing to try and go around the outside of Leo Brown. Hasn't been able to make it stick yet. Brown is getting ultra defensive. But what can Cordell do about Connor Duncan in the closing stages? He's only really going to have one chance, and that's up to Wilkins. Connor Duncan checks over his shoulder. I think he feels he's done enough here, but Cordell is going to be close. Here he goes for the loop. Oh, he's nudging him. Cordell through. Cordell gets past on Connor Duncan in the final turn. Clark gets through in the third on Brown. Cordell takes it. Duncan is livid. Archie Clark, opportunistic as you like, to get into third position.
Let's have a look at the replay. You can see this now. You might call this clever. Look, you can see Connor Duncan's helmet there. His neck just snapped back. So that was the contact. But it's not enough to give Lorenzo Cordell a front fairing penalty. And if it's been seen, he'll be penalised. But it wasn't, and he hasn't, and he's won the race.
So Lorenzo Cordell picks up the win from Connor Duncan, and Archie Clark, who fought back majestically to get into third position after his earlier spin. Leo Brown ahead of Kyan Gohill and Morgan Moore. Sam Longley in seventh ahead of Zakir Hussain, Sam Baker and Thomas Wainwright. What a final that was!
Well, how about that in the Junior X30s there? Exciting stuff indeed. Lorenzo Cordell had them all stacked up behind him for all of those laps there. And watching from up here at Shenington, it was just something else. Commiserations to Connor Duncan. He thought he'd got it done, but Lorenzo took the lead back with a couple of corners to go. Here's what he had to say at the podium.
Lorenzo, fantastic win for you. Victory in the end. It was tight though. A little bit defensive, wasn't it, all the way through?
Yeah, defended. I had to defend really, otherwise I would have probably not won.
Okay, who do you want to thank for your weekend this weekend? It was a great victory for you.
I'd like to thank Kato Motorsport, Fibre King, Grice Engines and everyone that's helped me.
Okay, well done.
Thanks.
A strong victory at an important time of the season for Lorenzo Cordell. He's now just 4 behind Connor Duncan with the championship finale upon us. Sam Shaw in third position, Gabriel Stilby in fourth. Hopefully they'll be back for the season finale as well. Leo Brown and Archie Clark very tight in their bid to be in the top 6 after what has already proved to be a stunning season. Mini and Junior X30 have already been sensational. In part 4, after the break, the Senior X30 takes centre stage.